Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vision Quest Tarot by Guyan S. Winter and Joe Doze, which I'm probably butchering those names, but just in case you want them, there you can see how to get them and the information. Supportive oracle cards will be Wisdom of the House of Night. And on the back here, right above the barcode is who created those. So if you pause the video and you write that information down or take a screenshot of it, you can get those too when you want to, if you'd like to, of course. I'm going to put you here. Let's go ahead and see what we have for Sagittarius. Okay, so somebody else is creating something. That's the first thing coming out because we have Manifest popping up here. Okay, somebody else seems to be in control of what they want to do. Okay, I feel like this is going to go well. Is that the Strength card? Yeah, you got good things coming. You do. You have good things coming. I feel this isn't about the success. I feel like success is here. I think it's going at someone else's pace that might be a challenge for you. I think this is going to be good, though. Your energy feels good. I just feel like this might go slower than you really want it to. You want to make it go faster, and it's just whoever you're dealing with is just like they're plodding along at their pace, and you're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they're like, not bad, though. Success, I do feel like there's a lot of success here. So you've got a lot of focus and drive, but I'm noticing when you're coming in with this, you got the grandfather card with that. Which I always say, don't get caught up in the gender. But what I'm feeling when I feel grandfather energy, it seems very patient. But I'm also noticing, like, when this person, the grandfather, holds this staff, staves or fire action, it's kind of like wanting to move, but feeling like there's only so fast you can do things. It reminds me of a person I know that, like, their body has slowed down. They don't want to, but that's basically saying this situation is slower. You know this situation is going to be slower. Wanting to do it slower, that's a whole other thing. I feel, though, that you know this going right into it. There's a lot of fire energy, like fire on the focus card, on that arrow, and then the grandfather holding the staff. A lot of fire energy, kind of like going into it thinking, all right, I'm going to want to go do things my way. I'm going to want to keep things moving forward. Maybe I can do things off to the side. Maybe I can, keep myself busy with this or that. But realizing at the same time that I'm going to need to keep my energy under control because it's not going to work. My natural drive to get things done is not going to work here. I got to kind of slow up with the situation and kind of do it with the situation. And it's feeling confident and secure. Going into this, you have the right mindset. Going into this, you definitely have the right mindset, but it's keeping that throughout the situation. You know what I mean? Sometimes life just starts throwing things at us, and we fall into a pattern that we know isn't going to work, but it just feels natural. So we kind of have to like remind ourselves, wait a minute, I knew this wasn't going to go at the pace I wanted to. Getting into it, I have to kind of get back in that headspace. Okay. Excuse me. Now this is interesting. I see the grandfather here with the wand in his hand, right? Fire, got that going on. I'm noticing in the other side, you got the shaman with the daughter of water. Now, to me, this is somebody who calls in the spirits. This is somebody who communes with other pieces of nature and understands how they interweave with the rest of life. It's kind of like, how do we fit into this? How can we learn from these other pieces of life? What do we need to do to respect what's going on to make things work out the way we want it to? How do we honor the spirits, and what do the spirits want from us? That's kind of what I'm getting now. I don't know a lot about Native American folklore and all that stuff, but this is the energy I'm getting off this card. I'm also getting the daughter of water in the sense of like someone who's very giving and very understanding that you're very advantageous to the situation. They see you as a very great blessing. But they're also at the same time kind of like, all right, I got to control the fire. You'll notice the shaman is also holding a staff, but it's behind the crow, it's behind the wolf. So it makes me feel like this is somebody who's holding things together, trying not to get too excited, trying to keep things at a certain pace. They might be a little bit emotionally reserved in certain aspects because they're like, when they create what they want to create, they completely are going to keep it under their own control. They're allowing you in, they're going to share the bounty with you, but they're going to have complete control of all of it. How fast it goes, what comes out of it, when it's dispersed, what's given from it. They seem to have complete control of the whole situation, and they plan to keep it that way. That's from beginning to end. Now this is very interesting because this card, here's the picture of the card, and I'm purposely blocking the words just because I feel like it's misleading at this point. Like they're going to be in control from beginning to end. Now here at the bottom it says conclusion. What I'm feeling from this is like all the way to the conclusion. This is their energy. They will have control. They know what they want. They see it from beginning to end, how it's going to play out, how it's going to go, what they want, and they're going to make sure it stays that way. And as long as they're involved in this situation from the beginning to end, from the beginning to the end they're involved, they're going to have control of it the whole time, or control, like they're not going to give up the control they currently have at any point. I'm noticing the cough coming forward. Is that anything significant? I just feel like moving this person out of this energy is not really doable. But still, I still see you kind of knowing that. I still think you're going to kind of know that going right into it. You got loyalty in the moon going into it, which a cat, one thing I know about cats is they do seem to be very loyal to their family, whoever they consider their family. They stick with them, they stay with them, they look out for them, they hang out with them. But like a cat, they don't, they're not dogs. They don't usually do tricks, or they don't usually come on command. Not always, sometimes. But I'm getting like they have their own thoughts, their own ways, but they're always loyal to the situation. And I'm kind of feeling this energy for you, kind of like you're loyal to the situation, but you got your own way about doing things at the same time. You're not going to walk away and let things fall apart, but you're still going to kind of have your own flavor to the situation. I feel like this is very good, but remember to keep it within reason. Within reason to how you relate to this person. Do it your own way. Make it work out the way you need it to work out within reason, to where you're not pushing the tempo too much, and you're not coloring outside the lines from what this person has decided are the boundaries. Because I do see there's a lot of bounty here. But I'm also getting and you seem to be understanding this. Like, there's only so much you can do. You have to color within the lines that this person has already set. You could probably choose the colors that you want, and you can do it in the way, whatever gradient or whatever direction you want, for the most part. But you still got to do it within reason to their plan. All right, so the cough, the yawn. Okay, so they're gonna. It's hard for them when you start doing things a little bit your own way. Even though they gotta let you breathe and do things your own way, it's hard for them. The more you do it your own way, the harder it is for this other energy. It upsets them a little bit because they very much want the control. They have to have the control to feel comfortable. So keep that in mind as you're coloring it to your own liking. As you're creating the situation to your own liking, and just to you, I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal. Like, it needs to get done. I'll just do it the way I want to do it. As long as it gets done, why should it matter? But it does to this other side. It's kind of like the more you do it the way you want to do it, and less the way that they think it should be done. There's a catch-22 here, because if you ask them how they want it done, and they tell you, they expect you to do it the way they told you. So that's a catch-22 in this. Be careful in this part. If you ask this energy, how do they want it done? They're going to tell you, but they're going to expect you to do it the way they told you to do it. You might be asking for a suggestion. They're taking it as if they're giving you direction, and you're going to follow what they tell you. Keep that in mind. That could be a snafu. A snafu? You know what I mean? Where just if you ask how they want it done, just keep that in mind. They're expecting you to do it the way they're telling you. So just be careful. Be careful with that. I feel like that could become like a butting of heads. It could be an issue. I'm just saying. You do get along with this energy. It does feel like you get along with this energy. It's just how things are done. I feel like that's the only, that's the only part. The only time you hit rough waters with this person, it's how it's done. Which, it could seem nitpicky, but I feel like this person might be just like that. I'm noticing this come in next. Father of air, high priestess of water. This is very much like, and the way I read, like male and female are equal. One does not supersede the other. But I'm feeling like it's trying to get things to work out. Air and water, like in the zodiac anyway, that doesn't always match. It takes some effort to get over boundaries and understand communication styles and how one person feels versus what one person says. They don't usually match the easiest. There's some work that has to go on beyond, like, for example, air and fire usually get along quite well. Air feeds fire, and that's usually a quite good combination. But air and water, that doesn't usually match as well. It's not a definite, but like there's some work. There's some definite work of understanding each other and figuring out what each side actually means, that type of thing. The reason I'm bringing this in this way is because I feel like this is explaining the connection here. How somebody feels and what they're saying, it seems like there's some confusion with that. Again, like if you're asking them for a suggestion and they're thinking they're giving you direction, this might be the part where that comes forward. Like you asked me how to do it and I told you, then you didn't do it. And you're like, well, I said I wanted a couple suggestions. And they're like, that's not what I heard. I thought you wanted me to tell you how to do it. So I told you how to do it and now it didn't go out right. And you're like, that's not what I said. It's like, that's the difference between how does it feel and what was actually said. There's some weird feeling here. It's not really big. Like, I don't feel like it's a big argument, but it's like one person meant versus what another person heard. And I'm getting on your side the stagnation, kind of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. It's kind of like the stagnation on your side isn't like the lack of movement, because it seems like it's still moving forward, but it's like questioning, like, now what am I supposed to do? Like, what if I keep going the way I have been? Are we going to have more problems because I'm going with what I think is right? And then, like, can I do anything right? It's kind of like looking at this situation like, I don't know if this is, like, I don't know if this is going as well as I thought it was. I don't know if I fit here. It's having some weird moment, like should I not be asking for help? Because I thought it was okay to ask for help in this situation. But it's also kind of like, well, is it the difference between I thought I was asking for help versus someone just dictating what they want and I'm supposed to just do it? There's a little bit of confusion that has to be sorted out here. It slows you down for a minute, kind of like you're unsure of what your next move should be, and you gotta kind of have to feel this moment out a little bit better. I'm noticing on the other side, is that the daughter? The daughter of Earth. Very positive card. This person does care and believe in you. I feel like when they're pushing at you, like their expectations are a little bit out of focus, and you got to help them focus what you really want and what you really plan to do. It might take a little bit of extra effort on your side to really explain, like, I just want like a list of like 3 different ways it could be done, and then I want to choose how to do it. I understand if you're not comfortable with that, but I'm just looking for ideas of ways to do it. I'm not looking for somebody to say, this is what you do, then this is what you do after that, then that's what you do. I don't want you to give me like a list to like check off this list, do it this way. I want you to give me like 3 different suggestions, 3 different ways to do it, and then I want to choose how I'm actually going to do it. And you might have to like have a moment here where you really explain that to this person, and that's what you wanted the first time, that's what you thought happened the first time. Whether they're gonna like it or not, that's a whole nother ball of wax. But if it's at least on point with like, this is what I actually wanted, this is what I would like going forward, I feel like you may have to bend over a little backwards, I have to be honest, to really explain that so they really get it. You got to make sure they really understand it, and then I feel like you'll be fine. I feel like there's a little bit of extra effort here going forward. This is a very curious situation because, again, there's a lot of bounty here, a lot of good. There's there's a respect, there's a mutual respect between you and whoever you're dealing with here. But it's like, it's a challenge for you to like figure out what needs to be done to keep this going well. You got the strength card. If I can block out the sun so it'll actually focus on the strength card. Maybe not, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully you can see it. I'll bring it forward a little more. So, this card, the rigid card, I feel like this other side, like the conclusion, they really want control. They really want control. So it becomes a challenge for you to deal with what they want and what they expect. There's a lot of bounty, a lot of good between the two of you, but you holding it together and dealing with what you're being faced with. The other side kind of hopefully giving in at some point, but the word rigid is there, and I feel like I can't really negate against it. I feel like they might be a little nitpicky, and you might feel like they're a little nitpicky. It's finding a way to deal with that energy and keep going, but not feel held down with it. It's gonna work out, and I get that, but like I'm feeling this like from your side, and I'm just kind of like, it takes like a little bit of preemptive, like, all right, I want to do it this way, but I know that's how that person's gonna react if I do it that way. How much is it worth it to me? That's pretty much what it is, because I don't feel like you can even give a heads up about, like, I'm going to do it this way, just so you know, so that way I just don't want you getting upset about it, because that won't work, because they'll be like, well, don't do it that way, do it this way, because I want you to do it this way. You're like, no, I'm going to do it my way. They're going to be like, no, do it my way. And it's just like, you can't really get around it. I feel like it's just one of those things where you're just going to have to keep moving forward, keep getting it done on your own terms, and just kind of, when they kind of, like, get a little grumbly about it, then they get a little grumbly about it. As long as it gets done in a satisfactory way to you, to your liking, I think that's kind of how you're going to have to roll with it. The energy is good between you and this person. It's just like they want things done a certain way, and you're going to need to do them your own way to actually keep going. So there's a mismatch with that. They want it their way, you're going to do it your way, but you're the one actually doing it. So the one who's actually putting in the effort, they're the ones with the last say. So you're the one who gets to do it your way. It's just, there's love, there's good energy between the two of you. This is literally the love card, you know what I mean? And it seems very solid. I'm noticing, to me, I know it's a package, but it looks like a rock, you know what I mean? It looks like a wrapped up rock, which makes me feel like this is very, like, it's solidified, but it's only doing what it's going to do. It's not, you can't really change it too much is what I'm getting. You can try to break it, but do you really want to break a stone heart? Like, is that really helping anything? Like, if you push too hard or you put too much on it, it'll break it. You don't want that either. It will work out. It is worth it. I get that. It's just kind of like there's only so much you can do with it. Once you see it for what it is, and just kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna go over here and do what I want to do, and then they're gonna grumble a little bit about it, but you know that's okay. I just feel like you can't preemptively tell them because they're gonna argue with you beforehand. Like, don't do it that way. Do it this way. No, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm just letting you know. Well, don't do it the way I told you. Well, I don't want to do that. It's fine if I do it this way. It's not fine if you do it that way. Do it the way I told you to do it. Like, I feel like that keeps going back and forth. I'm kind of getting stuck in the loop with that, so I think we're going to disconnect from it. It ends good. It's good. It's worth it. Let's just leave it at that. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.